Sorry for that. Had some technical issues. So let's start. Today we'll talk about services for storing secrets, and we will talk about Microsoft Azure service specifically. Of course, to keeping sensitive data and secret secure is a top priority for any organization, and particularly when it's come to protecting customer data, financial information, and any intellectual properties. And as secret storage is a critical component of modern security architecture, we will check today how the Microsoft Azure offers service and which better to use in which situation. Let's few words about myself. I'm CTO in Zenbit company. I work with the cloud more than 6 years. Mostly work with AWS and Azure. And today we will talk about the second one. If we go back to our topic, let's first start from, of course, by leverage Azure services for secret storage, which organization can achieve, what benefits it can have. And let's start with the first one, of course, is security. So Azure provides features for protecting secrets, and it includes encryption in rest and in the transit, also access control and monitoring capabilities. Second one is compliance, which is very important if you need to have application HIPAA compliant, GDPR compliant, or PCI DSS, making it easier for organization to meet compliance obligations. Scalability. Azure service is designed for be scalable, allowing organizations to store and manage secrets and their needs to grow and evolve. And of course, flexibility. So there are a range of services for secret storage, which allowing to choose the service that best meets for specific needs and requirements. And the first service from which we will start, look more deeper, is Azure Key Vault. It's actually key service for storing secrets. And here on the slide, you can see the screenshots about how to create some key value. So first of all, you actually create key value. For it, you need add the name, region which you want to use, pricing tier, and a few settings about, for example, purge protective and days to retain delete values. And first, let's check about pricing tiering. So what these settings mean when you create a vault. It have two different pricing tiers. First one is standard and second is premium. And the biggest difference between them is that in standard you don't have HSM protected keys, and on premium you have some. Actually, this is the difference between them. You have some, but you still need to pay for it. And the other interesting point when you create vault is soft delete. So you can enable it, and this means that when you will delete something, it will not go to the it will not go away. It will go to the cycle bin, so you can recover it whatever you want. It can be useful for some purposes. So after you make configuration, you select the options that we just discussed. You can update your policy configuration. So here in the screen, you can define who have access and to which and to what have access. After you actually create a Key Vault, you can start adding key to your vault. This is example of configurations that you can have. So yes, here it's just example. So you can choose key type, size. You can select expiration data if it's needed, or have it like without expiration. And you can set also activation date if it's needed. It's first option that you can do on Key Vault. Second one is you can create a secret. For example, I don't know what could be a secret. For the database, yeah, access to the database, for example. So yeah, you have here name, value, you can add content type, activation date, expiration date, actually very similar to the previous one, nothing too difficult. And you, like when you create a secret, you can not only create and manage secret, but also you can add version to the secret. For example, when you have different version and you want to new secrets that save data for you new database, but you want old version of the system still have access to the old database, which stored in the old secrets. So in this case, probably you will need to have both of them. Good feature to know. Yeah, and third one, what is available in Vault is actually managing SSL and TLS certificates. By storing certificates in Azure Key Vault, organization can easily manage and renew certificates while ensuring they are kept secure. Yeah, and here you can see example also of how might the configuration of certificates. What we have here. For advanced settings, you can like set up shared key access. For example, do you want to share it with some or no? You can configure blob storage. You can configure Azure files. For example, if you know that large file share, you can also enable it or disable it. You can set up a restriction to have public access or have it available only from Azure by allow blob public access. So this feature is really important. Yeah, what else I can add here? Yeah, I think we can go to the second one. So next one is okay. Let's continue. So yeah, I have been stopped on storage account. Yeah, so here we can configure our SSL certificate. And let's go to so when you actually have your key, secret, or certificate, there are also tools which help you work with it and manage it securely. So, and first service which we will look into deeply is Azure Managed Identity. This service provides an automatically managed identity for Azure resources. So it eliminates the needs the store credential in code or configuration file, which can reduce the risk of credential exposure. It consists of system assigned. So what is it? It provides service, for example, VM to have identity instead of the end user in Azure Active Directory. Once this identity created, you can use it to grant access to the target resource of its Azure ID identification. For example, Azure Secret Database. Now you can authorize this identity and grant permission based on the level of access you want. This is actually what you can see on the slide. So what is advantages with this? First of all, is automatic credential rotation. And second is identity life cycle management. So first, it means that when you delete VM, the identity associated automatically also will be deleted. And when code run from Azure VM, which have system management identity enabled, you don't need to save credential or secret anywhere on the code. The authentication happened automatically via the virtual machine. And second type is user-assigned management identity. It creates the identity independent of the life cycle of actual resource and assigns the identity to new resource that gets created. It's used when you have a lot of VM and system assigned management identity become not sufficient for you. It have we can check the main difference between two identities. So here you can see that when it's system assigned, you can create with Azure resources, automatic identity lifecycle management, and cannot be shared with multiple resources. With user assigned, you can create independently a manual identity lifecycle management and can be shared with multiple resources. So when you're smaller, it makes more sense to use system assigned, and when you become bigger, it's much more easier for you to use user assigned. It was about managed identity. Yes, sorry for the interruption. Okay, look like I disappear a little bit earlier. Okay, so here you can see the difference between two systems. If you have smaller system, better to use system assigned. If you have bigger system, it will be much more easy for you to use user assigned. And let's check the third service, which I want to talk today is Azure App Configuration. So this is the service that provides a central location for storing application settings and feature flag. You can use it to store secrets and access from your application. So why to use app configuration? So it's cloud-based application. For example, you have cloud-based applications which run on multiple virtual machines or container in multiple regions and use multiple internal services. So creating a robust and scalable application in a distributed environment presents a significant challenge. So various programming methodologies can help developers deal with the increased complexity of building application. So Azure App Configuration is actually the application which you can use as one of the example. And the main benefits which it provides. So first is microservice based. Based on Azure Kubernetes service, Azure Service Fabric, or other container application deployed in one or more geographics. Second is serverless apps, which include Azure Function or any other event-driven stateless compute apps. And third benefit is continuous deployment pipeline. So yeah, this is actually what you also can see in the schema. Yeah, just to summarize today, we check 3 services. It's based on Azure Key Vault, where you can store your secrets key. It's Azure Managed Identity, which can help you to manage your secrets in the application. And also Azure App Configuration, which help you to manage application settings and feature flags. Thank you. I think that's all from my side. I will be glad if you will join our group in the LinkedIn or my personal account. If you have any suggestion about which topic could be interesting for you, please write me in the LinkedIn. I will be also glad to read them and prepare something that will be interesting for you. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you, everybody.